Thanks. Next, I'd like to welcome Amy Woodhouse, which is also having an event in Parliament today that I'm sure she'd like to tell you about.
Hello everybody, I'll not take much of your time and thank you for your patience in sitting through a lot of really impassioned speeches, and good luck with your lobbying this afternoon. I've been given a couple of minutes to speak to you about a sort of child rights perspective on this very important issue, and somebody pointed out to me the statement up here. I don't know if anybody's read it. My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. And I think that is a really good message for us today to speak and then do afterwards. Children and young people make up a quarter of the UK population, and there's about 670,000 EU citizens that are children and young people living in the UK. And it's probably fair to say that they will live with the consequences of the exit from the EU for longer than pretty much everybody that's in the room today. It's of huge importance to them. But unfortunately, up to this point, the views, perspectives, and needs of children and young people have been, I can only use the word shockingly absent from the considerations, from the decision-making process today. Shockingly absent. In Scotland, we've been very proud of the move by which 16 and 17-year-olds have been given the vote. They were given the vote in the independence referendum 3 years ago. They now have the vote in Scottish Parliament elections and in local government elections too. And they have shown through that process that if you ask children and young people about the things that matter to them in their lives, they are very capable of giving informed, rational decisions about those choices. But nobody under the age of 18 was given a say on the exit from the EU, on Brexit. Nobody. And that's pretty shocking, really. I hope you agree with that. So it's incumbent on us as adults to advocate on their behalf. And I have to say, I don't see much sign of that happening at UK level at the moment. So I suppose my call for you today is to think about that when you're going off to meet with your MPs and ask them, what are you doing about children's rights? How have they factored in your considerations? What can you do to uphold them? The UK government is a signatory of the United Nations Convention of the Rights of the Child, which means that they have a duty to consider children's rights. I'm not going to go through all the articles, there's 46 of them, but I'll point to number 3. Which says, adults should do what is best for me. Now, that's a very important consideration when it comes to Brexit. And it's one that myself, I work for children in Scotland, and I'm part of a network of children's organisations that are working across UK and Europe to try and unpick what the implications of Brexit are for children and young people, and they are huge, and it's impossible, almost impossible task to get to grips with. We're talking about migration, we're talking about asylum, international child protection agreements, things like toy safety legislation, paediatric medication, family breakdowns. There's a whole raft of things that we need to get to grips with. And obviously central to our thoughts are the 670,000 children and young people, EU citizens that are in the UK, living in the UK, that have, many of whom have been here for a long time, many of whom have been born here, who are at school here, who have their friends and they're part of communities here, who consider the UK their home. And we're very, very aware that they deserve the right to feel like their home is maintained and is safe for them, and that they have the security of knowing they will be able to stay here. Absolutely, essentially important. So I would echo everything that everybody has said earlier. I'm incredibly supportive of everything that everybody is doing today, and we hope that you feel that the children's sector is beyond you in your endeavours to secure the rights for all EU citizens to remain and British citizens in Europe to remain as well. We're very much supportive of that. And I suppose it's just we have to remember to consider that children are also citizens in their own rights. They are part of families, but they have their own undeniable rights, all of their own, and they have the right to have their voices heard on this issue. This is critical going forward. So good luck with the lobby and the rally. I am going off to a meeting in Westminster where we're going to be talking about child rights and Brexit. So we'll be talking about this more this afternoon, and we'll keep in touch and let you know how that goes. But when you speak to your MPs, ask them how they're going to ensure that the rights of EU children living in the UK are upheld. Ask them to listen to children's voices and give them a say on an issue that they haven't had a say on and is of vital importance to their lives. And then ask them to advocate for the children and young people who are their constituents. They may not have a vote, but that does not mean that they're not, they shouldn't have a say. Ask them to advocate for their right to stay in the country they call home, to be safe and protected from harm, which is all of our duty to do that, and to ensure the Brexit process is undertaken with their best interests at heart. Thank you.